Hi you guys, welcome back. It's been a long time since we have talked. I've been active on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok, but it's been a long time since I've sat down and filmed a video. I'm back to weekly videos, that is my goal, and I thought it would be interesting to come back with this video. I'm talking about products that I will never be purchasing again. And that's a pretty strong statement to say that you are never going to purchase certain products again. But it could be because those products started to irritate my skin and they were doing more harm than good. Or maybe it's just because I found something better. As always, I will have timestamps below. Let's go ahead and talk about skincare products and beauty products that I will not be repurchasing. Okay, first product, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, is makeup wipes. In my early 20s, I loved a good makeup wipe until I found out that it was actually something that was contributing to my acne, hyperpigmentation, inflammation, irritation, and they definitely do not help at all when it comes to the anti-aging department. Makeup wipes are harsh on the skin. The constant wiping can cause a compromised skin barrier, and makeup wipes don't dissolve or break down makeup like a cleansing balm or cleansing oil would. Instead, makeup wipes more smear the makeup all over your face. Also, our skin is porous. So when you're using a makeup wipe to wipe off your makeup, you might actually just be pushing that dirt and oil and makeup deeper into your pores, which can potentially cause more acne. And they just have ingredients that can potentially be irritating to the skin. Now, while we are on the topic of makeup wipes, let's also talk about micellar water, because I also don't purchase micellar water anymore. I used to love the micellar water from Bioderma for sensitive skin, and I still think that is one of the best micellar waters that I've ever tried. If you are someone who has acne prone or sensitive skin and you want to use a micellar water, definitely give that one a try. I used micellar water in place of makeup wipes and it worked so much better. It was far less irritating to my skin. However, what micellar water is essentially is soapy water. So I just thought to myself, why not just try double cleansing? And the day that I tried double cleansing with an oil or a balm cleanser prior to my main cleanser, I never went back. If you've watched some of my acne videos, you might know that I swear by double cleansing as something that helps me to keep my skin clear. I also feel like it's one of the most gentle ways to remove my makeup because there's no harsh wiping or scrubbing that I have to do. The cleansing balm or the cleansing oil will do all of the work for you as long as you are properly using them. And unlike a makeup wipe that just wipes and smears your makeup, a cleansing oil or a cleansing balm is actually going to break down your makeup so that when you do go in with your main cleanser, it's going to have to work a lot less hard on your skin to actually remove your makeup. There are two products that I've been using interchangeably for months and months that I've been loving as my first cleanse. The first one is the Naturium Purple Ginseng Cleansing Balm. I've loved Naturium for a long time, and this is one of my favorite products that they have. It has calming ingredients, it's fragrance free, it melts on my skin. And then I also like oil cleansing with my Hada Labo oil cleanser. I've been talking a lot about this on TikTok. This one's amazing for all skin types, even sensitive and acne prone skin. This next product may not come as a surprise because I made a whole video on why I don't purchase these specific products anymore, and it's niacinamide serum. Specifically serums that are just really highly concentrated in niacinamide, so 10, 12, or 20% niacinamide. Those are actually very strong percentages of niacinamide. There was one point where I started talking about niacinamide on my channel and I started getting a lot of comments from you all saying that niacinamide irritated your skin, it caused breakouts, it compromised your skin barrier, and that actually happened when I tried niacinamide too. Niacinamide was a huge trend at one point and I jumped on that bandwagon, and it resulted in my skin actually looking worse. Now, if you use a high percentage of niacinamide, like a 10 or 12% niacinamide, and you love it, you've noticed positive differences, then of course keep using it. However, everyone's skin is different. Of course, niacinamide does have tons of benefits. It can help with oil control, it can help replenish the skin's barrier, it helps with ceramide production. However, a lot of the studies that have been done showing positive results using niacinamide have been done on very low concentrations of niacinamide, like 2, 3, 4%. And when it comes to skincare, sometimes too much of a good thing can actually turn into a bad thing. Now, this doesn't mean that I completely avoid niacinamide, because I don't. I actually love using niacinamide, but instead I prefer to use it in very small concentrations. So if you look at the back of your skincare products, like your moisturizers or your skin replenishing serums, you might see that niacinamide is already an ingredient that's there. It's just in a smaller concentration and it's not the main character in the skincare product. And typically those are the type types of products that work best for me when it comes to incorporating niacinamide. Another product that I do not purchase anymore is Mylan tretinoin. Many of you do know that I've been using tretinoin for some time now. It has completely helped me to transform my skin. It's helped me with my skin texture. It's helped me to clear my skin, and I still do use tretinoin. However, now I get my tretinoin from Hers. And if you don't know what Hers is, it's basically a website that is similar to Curology or Muesli or Dear Brightly. There are so many of those websites now, but it's basically a website where you can talk to a medical provider online. You can basically do an online medical consultation and be prescribed certain prescriptions. One of these prescriptions happens to be tretinoin. There are a few reasons why I started to get my tretinoin from Hers. For one, it's just convenient. My tretinoin comes delivered to me right to my front door when I need it. I also have access to being able to send my medical provider a message with any questions or concerns that I might have, or in the case that I do feel like I need to change my prescription formulation, all I have to do is send a message to my medical provider and they will get back to me to discuss it. Also, going to the dermatologist and being prescribed tretinoin can be really expensive, especially if your insurance doesn't cover it, which mine didn't. Also, websites like Hers and Agency can give you the ability to have a more custom blend formulation. For example, my prescription does not just have tretinoin, it also has azelaic acid, niacinamide, and clindamycin. And after 2 years of using straight tretinoin cream on my face, I found that I was still getting little breakouts here and there. And as someone who puts so much work into their skin, who watches their diet, who tries to live a pretty healthy lifestyle, it was a little discouraging as to why I was still getting breakouts. So because of that, I really wanted to give a more custom blend formulation a try. Next, let's talk about Aquaphor. What could possibly be wrong with Aquaphor? And the truth is nothing. There are so many different ways that you can use Aquaphor. However, I have found something better. I've been using CeraVe Healing Ointment and I gravitate towards it so much more than Aquaphor. The difference between CeraVe Healing Ointment and Aquaphor is mainly the additional skin replenishing ingredients in CeraVe Healing Ointment. There are ceramides, B5, hyaluronic acid, amino acids, and just having those extra ingredients can really help with skin healing, especially because my main purpose for using ointments like this is to help with any skin irritations, any sort of areas where I have a compromised skin barrier. I use it as an occlusive to lock in hydration on my skin and my lips. I even prefer this for tattoos. I do have a few little dainty tattoos that I did use this when it came to healing those. Now let's talk about hyaluronic acid serums. This again is something that I could make a whole video on. For one, hyaluronic acid is already in a lot of our skincare products like our moisturizers, our toners, our serums, and many times it is not listed as hyaluronic acid. It is actually listed as sodium hyaluronate, which is a form of hyaluronic acid. And because it is in so many of our skincare products, there is no need to double up or triple up on having even more hyaluronic acid in a whole separate serum. Also, hyaluronic acid works by pulling moisture from the air into the skin. So if you live in a humid climate, that might be something that benefits you. However, if you live in a dry climate, then that hyaluronic acid doesn't have anything to pull moisture from. Instead, it's actually going to pull moisture from your skin, which can just result in dry skin and even irritated skin. It is also not uncommon for people to associate skin irritation to using too much hyaluronic acid. And whether or not someone is susceptible to that sort of irritation can also depend on the molecular weight of that specific hyaluronic acid that they are using. And a lot of irritation that comes from using hyaluronic acid has actually been cited back to using low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, which is hyaluronic acid with a molecular size that is small enough to actually even penetrate into the skin. And again, I'm going to say this, if you use a hyaluronic acid serum and you love it, it's a serum that mainly has hyaluronic acid in it, then keep using it because again, everyone's skin is different. But for me, it's definitely not going to be a main player in my skincare routine. Instead, if I do want to use ingredients that are going to help to plump, hydrate, smooth, and replenish my skin barrier, I would rather use ingredients like beta-glucan, omega fatty acids, ceramides, centella asiatica, B5, amino acids. And honestly, just having a really good moisturizer can go a really long way for that. But there are a few hydrating serums that I prefer rather than using a hyaluronic acid serum. For one, I love the Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Serum. I love having this around. This has actually saved my skin so many times, especially in the winter time. I also just got this beta-glucan Power Moisture Serum. This is K-Beauty. I've been obsessed with K-Beauty lately. Beta-glucan is an amazing calming and hydrating ingredient. I've been using this for about a week now, so I will keep you updated on this, but so far I really do love it. And then I've also been using these Cica sheet masks from from Medicube. Cica is another way to say Centella asiatica, and that is one of my favorite skin replenishing ingredients. The way it smooths and hydrates and soothes my skin has just been an amazing thing to experience because I never really used Centella asiatica in my skincare routine before trying this. I also don't purchase rose water, and I feel like people that use rose water love their rose water and they feel like it really just hydrates and soothes their skin. But when you really think about it, what really is rose water? When you have rose water and you take away that water from that rose, what you have left is essentially fragrance. When it comes to hydrating sprays or mists or even hydrating essences that are going to add hydration back into your skin, that are going to increase product penetration, there is just so much better out there. I don't think that hydrating mists are an essential part of a skincare routine, but I think that if you find the right one and if you're using it properly, it can make a difference in your skin. I've been using the Lemieux Isocell Recovery Solution. This is typically the first leave-on product in my skincare routines, and I really like it because it's packed with amino acids. And I actually do feel like this has been really helpful, especially combined with using a really strong active ingredient like tretinoin in my skincare routine. Let's talk about facial scrubs. I do not buy facial scrubs, and by that I mean any facial scrubs that are made with any walnut shells, that have a sandy texture, anything with a gritty texture, I will not go near. I have found that those are actually too abrasive for the skin. They can impair the skin barrier, and they can actually make acne worse by aggravating it. And when it comes to exfoliation, something that I see a lot anyway is over exfoliation. You really want to be careful with exfoliating because remember, even the act of cleansing your skin with your fingers can be a form of exfoliation for some people. And I find that it's one of those things that is really easy to overdo. When I was younger, I loved the exfoliating scrubs. I thought they were doing a lot of good for me, but they were actually just aggravating my skin and making my acne worse. Now when it comes to exfoliating, I prefer chemical exfoliants. I love azelaic acid, lactic acid. I love a good salicylic acid cleanser to help gently exfoliate my skin and to also help prevent any clogged pores. I also shave my face twice a month, which is also a form of exfoliation. Speaking of exfoliating, I also do not purchase exfoliating tools anymore. When I was younger, I definitely liked these spin brushes, but again, I realized with those as well that they were just aggravating my skin. They're really hard to keep clean as well because if they are left wet anywhere, they're going to be the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And again, with the scrubs, I find that a lot of exfoliating tools and devices are just much too abrasive for the skin. Especially as someone who does use a really strong retinoid, I really need to be careful with my skin barrier because once it is impaired, I'm going to have to start all over from square one. Let's also talk about hair care because there are two products that I'm going to mention that I will never purchase again. One of those is dry shampoo. I used to use dry shampoo all the time to help me get more volume in my hair, but I found that it was eventually doing more harm than good. I found that over years of using dry shampoo, it was one of those things that was leading to my hair thinning and my hair loss. Through my research, I found that I wasn't the only one that was having this issue. Turns out there is a such thing as overdoing dry shampoo. In fact, if you use it more than a few times a week, it can actually leave a residue on your scalp. It can actually clog your hair follicles, which can lead to hair thinning and hair loss. I also don't use this tool anymore. I'm surprised that I even have this, but I don't use this anymore, and I know this is very popular. A lot of people swear by this to give them that perfect blowout look for their hair, but for me, all it did was damage and break my hair. I tried using it in different ways. I used it on damp hair, almost dry hair. No matter what I did, it led to a lot of breakage in my hair, and it could very well just be my specific hair type. My hair is more on the dry, coarse side, which makes it a little bit more prone to breakage. And I found that when I would use my hair dryer to rough dry my hair and then later go in with a flat iron, I ended up with a lot less breakage over time than when I was just using this. I'm also gonna bring up makeup. One thing that I use a lot of is mascara. I love mascara. Eyelashes are very important to me. When I was younger, I loved waterproof mascaras. I thought they made my eyelashes look better. My mascara never smeared. And then one day I was looking in the mirror and I realized that most of my eyelashes had broken off. The thing about waterproof mascaras is they have extra ingredients and extra waxes that can actually be really drying to your eyelashes, and that can eventually lead to lash breakage and lash fallout. So instead, I of course just always go for the non-waterproof option. If it's a mascara that is difficult to take off, I don't want on it. That is actually everything that I wanted to talk about today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments if you also had a similar experience with any of these products, or if you actually love one of these products that I mentioned. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.